So the last video I'm going to do on the new forms that I received prior to them coming out. Again, well, when I get the purchase agreement, a copy of that should be out by the end of the month, of course. But I have not gotten a sample of it or draft yet. This is the draft of the buyer's representation and broker's compensation agreement that is going to have to be done on all buyers that we deal with before we show them houses. And I didn't go over it on the listing agreement. But basically, when you write offers, they're going to ask for a copy of the buyer broker representation agreement. From what I'm told as well, they're able to call it out, like, if you're maybe even go to an open house and you got to show them that you're basically representing them, right? Because there's another form that I didn't mention on the listing agreement video that I just did, that it's going to be for like sign-ins for open houses, or people like walking in off the street, like say an open house. You're getting their contact information, and on that form, I did get it. I looked at it, didn't get a copy of it though, unfortunately. But it is a way of signing, putting the buyer's name or potential buyer and their agent information on there, so everything's like documented. So again, you could get called out even showing properties of a buyer representation agreement. But for sure, on all offers, they're going to want to see the buyer's representation agreement, because, especially if you're asking for compensation from the seller, they're going to want to see the compensation that you put in your agreement. Now, if you put 2.5% on this agreement, we'll go over it in a second, you can't ask the other agent for 3% commission. You can only get what is up to the compensation agreement on here, and any or difference will be have to be paid by the buyer. So, for instance, if your compensation that you're putting on here is 2.5%, and that's what I'm putting on our updated real estate manual, is basically everybody to be charged 2.5%, just to keep it clean. There's no problems. Everything's, everybody's getting charged the same. Nobody's getting charged differently. So 2.5%. So, for instance, if the seller is only willing to give, say, 1.5%, then the buyers would have to come up with a difference, kind of like lender paid, buyer paid compensation, lender paid compensation. If it's not being covered, the client would have to cover it to get us to our comp plan, which is 2.5% on, as you know, loans. So this is a new buyer's representation agreement. It's only good for 3 months, everybody. So this is not an indefinite thing. So if you're dealing with a buyer, you're gonna have to renew it. I'm going to jump ahead of myself, but I will need to also sign this as well. We have to keep copies of the representation agreement because they are going to be cracking down on this. It's only good for 3 months, so hopefully you'll get your client into a house prior to that. Terms right here, A1, type of representation, non-exclusive or check exclusive. We will be checking exclusive, right? Because we don't want to do non-exclusive. Basically, they can go somewhere else with somebody else, right? Property types, we're going to put the property type. Well, in this case, 99% are going to be single-family residence. It's excluded from this agreement, so they're all single-family residents, or unless otherwise noted. Location, if you know you're going to be showing properties in, let's say, LA, Orange County, Riverside County, just check that box. Or if anything, the cities, if you know that's all they're going to buy. But then again, it's going to pigeonhole you on showing, on this buyer broker agreement. Just put the counties. Specify properties. If it was just one-off, when somebody wants you to put an offer in for that one property, let's say it's a new home or something, right here. Or if it's particular properties and the buyer is going to be like, nope, I only want you to show me these ones, or represent me on these ones. That's it. I guess excluded properties. I don't even know why they put that there, but okay. Additional buyer preferences and priorities right here. I don't know if they're going to start cracking down on like exact type 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, stuff like that. But that's probably where this is going to go. And I don't know, since it's being checked, if another form will be opening up there as well. D1, amount of compensation right here. This is where you're going to put the 2.5%. Right here. Payment from third parties, it's letting them know shall be credited against buyer's obligations to pay broker. Broker shall not receive any amount in excess of paragraph 2D, 1, unless the amount is modified in subsequent written agreement. So it's letting them know that, hey, whatever the third party doesn't cover, you're going to cover that. Okay. Continued right to payment for broker involved properties. I don't know, put maybe 14 days after the expiration date. Cancellation, non-exclusive, effective upon receipt, meaning that if they say they want to cancel it and it's not exclusive, or such and such notice after receipt of exclusive, effective 30 days after receipt. So basically, if you don't put anything here, it's if they want to cancel, you both if you're not vibing with each other, you can both cancel the contract. They can cancel it effective 30 days after receipt. So at 30 days there, so they can cancel you as an agent. Okay, just to let you know, you can cancel them as a buyer if it doesn't work out. So it'll release them. It's kind of like a listing agreement, right? You're releasing them to go with somebody else. In this case, to be a buyer's agent. Okay, buyer's financial personal information. There's a new form coming out, BFPI. This is a new form. As we check one of these, buyer intends to purchase using vehicle. Buyer does not have sufficient funds to pay broker. Okay, that's going to be new. I got to get some training on this one, but this is a new form right here. They didn't go over this one yet, but rest assured, this is a new form right here. Buyer does not have sufficient funds to pay broker. Cool. Let's see what else. Broker compensation advisory. That's the one I already did that's the one we're doing right here. Let's see, compensation to broker. Right here, compensation to broker number 4. The amount of rate real estate commission is now fixed by law. They are set by each broker. Advisory, buyer has been advised that who compensates broker. So this is it right here. Let me go to the next page. Broker right to compensation. Right here, non-exclusive representation. So this spells out what is non-exclusive representation right here and exclusive representation. Continued right to compensation. That's even after the representation agreement's over. Timing, payment through escrow. Buyer hereby regulates. This is showing that the buyer is receiving payment through escrow. These are just spelling out the ways that the buyer will be compensating and/or the buyer's rights. Dual agency, letting them know that broker will represent buyer. That there could be some dual agency here. Advisor regarding buyers signing multiple representation agreements. Buyer shall inform broker in any writing of signing. So basically, if they on the non-exclusive, if they want to go with somebody else as well, they will let you know. It's funny. Buyer's obligations right here. Brokers are authorizations and obligations. I'm so sorry. And this is number 9 is buyer's obligations. You can go through that as well. Let's see here. Management approval. If an associate licensee, a broker, office salesperson enters into an agreement on broker's behalf and broker or manager does not approve of its terms, the broker or manager has a right to cancel this agreement in writing. Also, what's going to be on the real estate manual updated is the 2.5% charging the buyer, but it has in there. It's going to be in there if there's any needing to lower the fees. We have to have it in writing, and we're going to have to put it in the file. So we make sure that what are the compensating factors of why we're lowering the commission. Maybe we're dealing with the buyer with the loan as well, so that's a compensating factor as well, correct? And or do they not have the monies to pay the 2.5%? Maybe they can only go up to 1.5% because we cannot rely on the sellers giving any monies, right? So that's going to have management approval. Mediation terms, authorized signers. Basically, they're signing a contract, the buyer, with you already, so we're saying that they're legally authorized to sign on this behalf. Okay, right here, number 16, confirmation of compensation. It's again spelling out. This is the compensation that we talked about in 2D for the broker services. Let's say check that 2.5%. So there you go. Entities information right here. Buyer signature, broker signature. You guessed it. We got to sign this as well. So we got to go back to signing as the brokerage me. So send this over. so we can have in the file and you can have in your file, and I'll get it e-signed, DocuSign. So let me know if you have any buyers. So there's a lot to go over, but this is what we got right now, and there will be more forms coming up. I just wanted to get it out to you all when I see it. So questions on this one, email me, call me, let me know.